Hello friends, welcome back to my new lecture. Today I am going to discuss about thermal contact resistance. This is very important point in heat transfer. We must have knowledge of what is thermal contact resistance. Today in this particular lecture I am going to discuss about what is definition of thermal contact resistance, how it occurs, how it can be avoided, what is the formula of thermal contact resistance, that also we are going to discuss. Let's go for thermal contact resistance. Now, in a composite wall, calculation of heat flow is made on the following assumptions when we are going to determine a heat flow in a composite wall. Now, I hope you are knowing what is meant by a composite wall. So, if more than two material are pasted together or held together and heat transfer is flowing through that, then it is called as composite wall or composite material. Here I can show you, this is the material A or wall A and this is wall B. There are two walls which you are observing. These two walls are meeting with the plane surface at the center, okay, and heat flow direction is from left to right. That is what shown over here. Now if the case is like this, we are assuming some of the things for calculation of Q. What are the assumptions? Let's see. Interface contact between adjacent layer is perfect. Now interface contact is shown over here center. This interface contact is a perfect. Means what? They are perfectly mating with each other. And there is no air gap present in between that. Okay, we assume that the surface is very smooth and all surface of A is in contact with surface of B or vice versa. That's what the first assumption we have seen it. Next, at the interface, no fall of temperature. At the interface, we have shown temperature T2. Basically here there are three temperatures, that is T1, T2 and T3. T1 is left side surface temperature of material A. T2 is right side surface temperature of material A. At the same time, T2 is left side surface temperature of material B. So T2 is a temperature of A as well as temperature of B, and there is a no drop in between. So if I consider T2 is 100 degrees Celsius, so T2 temperature is 100 degrees Celsius for a material A right side, for a material B left side. So that means that there is no fall of temperature. This is what we have assumed when we are going to determine heat transfer Q. Now let's move forward. That's what assumption we have seen, but in reality, however, even a flat surface that appears smooth to the eyes turn out to be rather rough when examined under microscope. So this particular surface which we observe to be very flat, when you observe under microscope, you will find that it is very rough. With the numerous peaks and valleys. On this surface there may be various peaks and valleys, and that is, the surface is microscopically rough. So under microscope, the mating surface of surface A and surface B is observed to be microscopically rough. Now let's consider that this black color rectangle, this part, if I zoom it and if I observe under microscope, what I will look. This is what the picture, that when we are going to zoom it, after zooming we can observe that the mating surface is not exactly flat. This picture is under microscope. Under the microscope we are zooming this near about 1000 times we are zooming, and then we are observing that there are peaks and valleys. The surface is not flat. You can observe that here the white color is the air gap. Here also air gap is present, and the material A is this one and material B is this one. The material A and B, they are contact at some point. It is not contact throughout the surface, they are in a contact at some point, and heat is transferred through that particular contact. Whereas in between what we are having, air molecule, and this air molecule is acting as an insulator. So if I zoom it and observe it, so what you are observing is, here there is air gap, here is air gap, whereas they are mating on the surface here. So heat transfer can directly pass through these particular points, but this air gap will provide an extra resistance, because we are knowing that the air is having very less thermal conductivity, and as it is having very less thermal conductivity, when heat tries to transfer from material A to material B through the air, the heat transfer is very less. So area available for the transfer of heat from material A to material B is at peak point. Here you can see that peak points. So here is some peak points are there. Here there are some peak points, and here is also some peak point, means contact point through the heat is going directly, whereas the other part, that is the white part shown over here, that is the air. So heat from A first of all go to the air, and from air it will go to the B. In between, the extra resistance of air has added, and because of addition of extra resistance, what has happened? The temperature drops. Temperature drops from what? T2 to T2 dash. Previously we have assumed that there is a no drop in a temperature. So here we can see that there is a no drop in temperature. T2 is the right side surface temperature of A, and T2 is left side surface temperature of B. But in actual case there is a drop in temperature because of this improper contact. This improper contact makes the temperature drop, and that temperature drop we can write as a T2 minus T2 dash. This temperature drop may be less, maybe 2 degree, 3 degree, 4 degree, but there is a temperature drop. Okay, this temperature drop depends upon the nature of surface. If nature of surface is very rough, the temperature drop will be more. If nature of surface is very smooth, then temperature drop will be less. But we cannot make the temperature drop as a 0, because it is not at all possible to have a perfect contact. Perfect contact means what? 100% contact of A with B. It is not at all possible. So always there will be temperature drop. That is what we are observing, T2 to T2 dash. Okay, so let's move forward. When two such surfaces are present against each other, the peak will form a good material contact, but valley will form voids filled with the air. That is what we have seen. The peak will transfer heat very nicely, but the voids is a gap that will not transfer heat properly because of air gap. As a result, the interface will contain numerous air gap of varying size that act as a insulation. So air gaps are acting as a insulation because of low thermal conductivity of air. Thus an interface offers some resistance to heat transfer, and this resistance per unit interface area is called as a thermal contact resistance. So resistance offered because of this improper contact is called as what? Thermal contact resistance. This is actually zoom view of this rectangular. Normal view, if you observe here also, we can observe that there is a temperature drop shown from a T2 to T2 dash. That's what the temperature drop. So whatever resistance occurred because of improper mating of a two surface, that resistance is called as thermal contact resistance. As I told you, thermal contact resistance can be reduced but cannot be made 0. It can be reduced by using highly smooth surface. Because of highly smooth surface, we can remove the air gaps. At the same time, we can give the pressure on the two surfaces, like I can give a pressure on A and I can give pressure on B. Because of pressure given by some machine, what will happen? The mating surface will be properly, and air from this particular mating surface can be removed. So we can use a force here. At the same time, we can use a force here to reduce thermal contact resistance. Okay, now what is the formula for determination of thermal contact resistance? Okay, so in this case, we are knowing this particular standard formula, that Q is equal to delta T upon summation of all resistances. That's the standard formula you must be known. So if you are not knowing, please refer our previous lectures. So here what we are doing, we are writing the temperature difference, and in between that temperature difference, what are the resistances are coming, that resistance we put a downside. That's the standard formula. Now if I apply this particular formula to this zone, this formula I am applying to this particular zone. This particular zone means thermal contact zone. What the formula says, that the temperature difference at the contact surface, what is temperature difference at the contact surface? That is the T2 minus T2 dash. That is the temperature difference. Whereas what is the resistance between these two? That is the thermal contact resistance. So RCT is a contact resistance or thermal contact resistance. That is what I have used this symbolically. Some of the book they are using other symbols, but you have to understand, for this lecture I have used RCT is a thermal contact resistance, T2 is a temperature before contact resistance, T2 dash is a temperature after contact resistance, and temperature drop because of contact resistance is T2 minus T2 dash. Okay, so I am interested for formula of contact resistance. So we can rearrange this particular term, that R contact resistance can be taken on left side and Q can be taken on a right side. So if I make it, what will get a formula, that RCT is equal to T2 minus T2 dash divided by Q. So this formula will give you the equation for thermal contact resistance. Thank you very much for listening.